Mr. Happy Living here, and I'm happy to be broadcasting from WITV7 in the beautiful Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, USA. Hey friends, will you join me for a minute and just imagine how amazing you'd feel living the unique and distinct life that you were put on this planet to live, doing work you love, with people you love, in places you love, and all the while creating something of real value to others. That's what I call a life of significance. And I can tell you it makes for a very happy life. And so can my friend David Dachner. And he's here to share his unique and distinct journey to his life of significance. But before bringing him on, I'd like to share a poem that we created to thank him for being our guest star today. It's called A Visionary Heart, and it goes like this. From Texas oil to Roatán's shore, David Dachner's David Dachner dreamed of giving more, a visionary heart with both bold and kind, creating communities where hope aligns. With Los Sueños, the dreams, his vision is grand, building homes and schools with a guiding hand. With every good deed, hope does take flight, transforming lives, igniting a collective might. So tune in now, let his story inspire a journey of purpose, a heart set afire on something significant. Tune in today, discover how David's faith lights a transformative way. Hey, David, welcome to the
Hey,
show.
thank you very much for having me, Matt. God bless you guys. Great to hear everybody, and thank you for inviting me to this program.
It's a pleasure. So get us started by telling us what you're doing these days to make your mark of significance on the world.
Sure. Well, you betcha, Matt. It's always a good question, and it's a very good question for everyone to kind of consider and everything. But I have three marks of significance to share with you that encompasses both Texas and Honduras. First, I'm going to give you a brief history of my personal journey to Roatán, Honduras, that happened 10 years before my 2006 arrival on the island. Presently, I'm in the oil and gas exploration business in Austin, Texas, and for now 45-year career. And in 1996, I had a defining moment that occurred in my life when I attended an intensive, high-impact program called Discovery Programs.
David, let me have you hold that defining moment until we get down into our purpose section. Just right now,
Okay.
just let us know, what is it you're doing today. Describe your activities today, and then we're going to get into your power and your purpose. And I want to spend time on that defining moment, because
Good.
that's the critical thing. That's the magic when your life really came alive.
Right.
And that's what
Right.
I want to convey to our audience. But let's just start off just today. What's your day, David Dachner's day, look like today?
My day is an utter chaos. It always is, but there's a lot of things happening on several fronts. And the first front is my time in Honduras, which is the work we're doing both at the Abundant Life Foundation, which I am a founder and board member and founder of, and also the Kimpton Grand Roatán Resort and Spa, which is a for-profit company, but it has a bigger mission and purpose in Honduras. So I'm involved with that organization also. And then also I'm involved with a program called Discovery Programs here in Austin to help people find peace and get off the bench in the game of life and get in and have really a great life.
Yeah. So give us the elevator pitch, just about a minute or so, on how do you describe the Abundant Life Foundation and its mission and its purpose?
Abundant Life Foundation's mission and purpose is essentially to provide two things. One, education on an area of the world that is developing, and they do not have a very good educational system. So we're helping with education, and also in community development. We are providing homes for families that deserve a home but can't afford them. So then we also have involved with Roatán's first public park, and also we have a church, school, and library reading room to help kids in that realm. And so we're creating relationships, positive relationships where the islanders can help themselves, and not us do it to them, but help themselves, creating a format and resources for that to be a reality.
Yeah. And a working farm right adjacent to it.
Correct. Yes. We have an agricultural farm also that is helping them to take care of themselves and provide sources of income for them also.
All right. So before we move to the wealthy part of the island there, where the Kimpton is, my daughter and I visited just a couple of months ago, and my daughter, 21 years old, we're all when you get out of the United States and you get into these other parts of the world, the idea of the average monthly pay or average annual income for a Roatán resident, what is that,
It's
David? What would
maybe about six, seven, $800 a month,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
So it's
and it's an expensive island because it's now a tourism island and prices are going up in every aspect.
yeah. So the abundant life is supporting that local community. Now talk
Uh-huh.
about the Kimpton, which is a 5-star fancy. It's beautiful, folks. I got to visit there too. But talk about it, just its grandeur first, and then how it's different, how you're giving back with it.
Sure. I am not in the hotel resort business. And I fell into this business about 12 years or so ago when I backed someone's loan. And that didn't work well for them. So Brenda and I took it over, but we took it over for a purpose, not to go out there and make money. But there's two things. One, we wanted to make sure it got developed so that would be a way to protect the reef and the environment around it, and also be developed appropriately with the natural beauty of that, and also to help Hondurans understand that you can make money without corruption. And so
Mm,
we made that as our founding part, and so we were able to achieve all those things at the Grand.
yeah. So that's another part of the cultural disconnect, which you must be it's fascinating when you experience different cultures, because here corruption, you say, well, that's just a bad rotten person, but there
Right.
that's the way you do business.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And I
it's a
think
different mindset.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the other thing is that we're trying to do what we can to try and present Honduras in a different light other than crime ridden and drug ridden and everything else. They got beautiful people
Yeah.
and a great economy. And we want to be able to provide a safe place for North Americans, but all the world, to land with a common major luxury brand resort that they can feel comfortable with, and they can see and understand and explore what Honduras and Central America is all about.
Yeah. Very good. And then lastly on the discovery program, I know we're going to get deeper into that when we get to your purpose section, but just tell us these days, what is it and what are you doing to support the discovery program in Texas?
Yeah, well, I went through in 1996, and from there I started volunteering, then became a facilitator, and then ultimately moved the program to Austin, Texas. And did this program for about 20 years, seeing about 7,000 people during that
Mm,
period. And then finally passed the baton to some other people who could take it over well, and they have, and they've done a fantastic job, and it's ongoing. So right now I'm on what they call a board emeritus, which we oversee their operations and doing good there, and they're doing fantastic things for people
awesome. Awesome. And the primary mission at Discovery is what?
to help people find true life inside themselves, which has been
Yeah.
waiting for many years to be birthed.
Yeah. Discovery sounds like Happy Living's long lost brother. Only
Yeah, there you go.
only that brother's really well developed things.
Yeah,
Okay. So let's get into mathematics. Uh,
sure.
so our friends all around the world can get to know you through our happy formula. So it's a simple formula, but it's very powerful. And it goes like this: power plus purpose equals happy. So let's
Right.
start with the power side, David. What are your personal practices for building up all the power that you need to get things done, whether it's physically, mentally, financially, spiritually, emotionally? In other words, what do you do on a regular basis to create the power that you need to take excellent care of yourself and your loved ones and still have plenty left over so you can be a giver to others?
Well, one of the biggest things I think that really was unique to me throughout my whole life is that I'm fearless.
Hmm.
There's power in being fearless. I mean,
Yes.
you're not going to be concerned about what everybody else thinks, or if you fail or you succeed is irrelevant. The most important thing is getting off the bench and trying and making the effort. And
Yep.
so, but it takes courage to go out and do that. And I've been doing that my whole life. And so building that power of fearlessness, I'm able to accomplish so much, and so I don't really put a lot of weight on things perhaps the world puts weight on.
Yep.
And then have a gift of vision. I get power from my vision. I hold on to my integrity. I find that incredibly important in this world. There's great power in holding on to your true self. and being a participant in that world also. And I might also say that as kind of a quote, if you will, which I know you like quotes, but there's a quote saying, from discipline comes desire. From discipline comes desire. So what that means is, if we discipline ourselves time and time again, we'll create a desire for it, as opposed to, I have a desire to want to lose weight, and I start for 2 or 3 weeks and I quit because I don't have the desire to do it. Become disciplined, disciplined, disciplined. So I've become very powerful in making sure that I've disciplined myself, and from that I feel courageous that I can become the desire to do those things.
Yeah, that's great. I love that idea of fearlessness, because when you were telling me about it, you also see that evolve in a human being's life as they get older, and they care less and less about what other people say. So then now they're free. They walk into restaurants, they act how they want, they just are completely authentic, and they could care less. And all of
Yeah,
a sudden you're living your life freer. So if you
yeah,
learn to do that before you get old, or before you don't care, then it
yeah.
becomes a discipline and a practice, as you're talking
And
about.
it's fun. You get to be a kid again, and it's fun, and uh, don't be trapped into what the world thinks of you, and
Correct.
do what you're supposed to be doing.
Another quote, other people's opinion of you is none of your business.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Exactly.
right.
Some business, I mean, it's probably a bit of a spirit someone, but I think the point of what you're saying is correct.
Yeah.
It only matters is how you feel about yourself and how you're powerful and you're doing good and all that.
Yeah. When you're being honest with yourself.
Yeah. And good intentions, that you're really honest with yourself, with what you're trying to accomplish. Exactly.
Good stuff. Okay, David, let's discuss my favorite power generating concept. It's called a Kaizen state of mind. And it's a
Yes.
beautiful Japanese idea that small incremental improvements add up over time to yield great big
Mhm.
results. And I
Yes.
love it. I love it because it's based on mindset, not circumstance. Kaizening
Yeah.
life, always knowing there's something I can do better today, tomorrow than today. And it creates an optimistic, gentle, but very powerful and continuous uplifting of my life day after day after day.
Correct.
So how does Kaizen in your life help you increase your power so you continuously become more, so you can continuously give more?
Got it. Good point. And it's interesting word and concept on that. I always start by a famous quote by Mother Teresa. You like quotes, and so do I. And she said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do a lot of small things with great love."
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably heard that one before, but that also drives me too. I think to accomplish things in the world, you have to be patient and persistent and consistent. And particularly if you go into a foreign culture like Honduras, the environment and the culture is vastly different. And you can't walk in there and ramrod them with the American way. It becomes,
Mm,
just can't do it. I read a book a long time ago called Three Cups of Tea by Greg Mortensen. And he
mm,
changed the world in Pakistan by providing schools for young girls
mm.
working through the Taliban. But in order to make that happen, he had to sit down with them for 3 cups of tea and
Yeah.
patiently, meet them and meet them where they are to make things go. And so,
Wow.
to be successful in the work that I do, whether it's a discovery, it's a step-by-step process. You aren't pushed by time or agenda. You're pushed by what God is telling you and encouraging you to do, and with the love that you have for that person and place.
Yeah, it's interesting. The idea of Kaizen, I hadn't thought about it in relationships to culture. And
Mhm.
your book, Three Cups of Tea, and your work in Honduras, you had to take
Yes.
small steps to learn and to gain trust before you could bring anything to that culture.
Well, you had to, because you see, places like Honduras, there's a lot of people from the United States and elsewhere that come to these developing countries with great intent, and they come down and they build a school and they leave, or they drill a well and they leave and they leave, and the constant message is, you're poor and you're going to need it. You're always going to be poor. We'll come provide things for you, and you're gone. And our position, our mission is that we're going to be on the Roatán the rest of our lives. We've been there for 16 years,
Mm,
and we are we will be patient all the way through. For example, just real quickly, I spent more than $10 million US over 16 years on overhead alone. And what
mm,
we have to show for it is 25 houses, couple schools, a church. I mean, you look on basic stuff, you're kind of going, that's crazy. You should have just given the money away. But
Yeah.
but you got to be patient when you go into these cultures and stuff and show them who you are and why you're doing it and all that. And you can really have some great success and make a lot of people happy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. All right, let's explore purpose. That's the second element of our happy formula. And I've
Mhm.
observed that major life transformations and those really big discoveries of purpose sadly often come from devastation. Addiction,
Mhm.
abuse, disease, death, disaster, something awful strips a life to its core, resulting in a big and often unexpected change. However, in my book, Turning Inspiration into Action, I share the transformational process I use to discover the purpose of my life using inspiration. So, how
Right.
about you, David? Was there a specific moment or event or crisis or inspiration that revealed to you the God given purpose you are meant to live?
Well, it's kind of interesting, as a young kid, I was bullied quite a bit and I wasn't very smart. I had academic problems with ADD and a
Mm,
nervous disorder. I couldn't write very well. And so I was not a very good student. And everyone said, David, we're really worried about you. We don't think you're going to be able to make it in this world. But
mm,
inside, I was fearless and courageous, and I was going to beat the world. And I did for the first 41 years of my life. And I sucked the world dry, proving them they were all wrong. I can make it. But
mm.
then the last 39 to 41, my heart light went out and I was emotionally dead. And that's when I went to the discovery programs. And through that work, hard, intensive work, I had a miracle occur to me in my hotel room that would encounter when I encountered my faith. And that radically changed me. And I basically had gone from not a Scrooge, but someone who was all about me to I can give back to the world. And it allowed me to formulate my mission to be a beacon of possibility into the darkness of the developing world. And so my whole world is focused on how I can accomplish that, which I've been doing that now for almost 29 years. And it can be devastating. It can be just traumatic. But there's things that have happened to you. You can turn a negative into a positive, or a can't into a can. And that's what the great opportunity.
So try to take us back to that moment in that hotel room. You were David Dachner, the uh, 1.0, and
Mhm.
something happened. And didn't you hear something even audibly, or something happened and you changed? And was it instant? Did you come out of that hotel room like a different person and never went back, or how did it happen?
Well, this is what they call it a classic quantum change has been written about in books about quantum change. And quantum change happens when you go, and one of the examples is a spiritual epiphany. These are things that are unexplained. And I had experienced that in my hotel room where I felt the presence of Jesus Christ in my room. And
Mm,
it was powerful. And I felt my life was way out of whack, really goofy, and it was not, I was all about me. And when I encountered that, the love that I was wanting to have that I thought I could buy was present in accepting that in my faith. And for me, and my life, my heart changed. My heart light came on. My
mm.
purpose and vision, how I could help the world, that's everything has been focused on that ever since. And it's been an incredible, wonderful journey, not one that has to have the do's and don'ts of faith. No, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to go to church, you got to read this. No, it's a joyous experience to accept that as a possible way of moving forward in your life.
That's awesome. Now, one last thing on that. So you have the epiphany, the sudden burst, the heart change, and you're the new David, but your life is still in your old way.
Mm-hmm.
What was the journey like, walking through and actually changing the way you lived your life from that moment? How long did
Well,
that, what was that like?
it was a very radical change. I mean, so I didn't know anything about my faith. I was agnostic before that moment, and so I had to kind of start right away. But one thing was that my direction in life, in relationship with women, were very terrible, and so the first thing I did was a vow of celibacy. I
Mm,
gouged out my eye. If my eyes deceived me, gouge it out. So I vowed celibacy until I until I find my wife, right?
ah,
Which took me 7 years to that
wow.
happen. So I did that. I rapidly started pursuing my faith and going to church and reading and studying and everything else. And everybody else thought I was a bit, what's wrong with him? What's going on with him? But that was irrelevant. I was feeling alive for the first time, really ever. And it was really an awesome experience.
Oh, that's great. Ah, fantastic. Thank you for that, David. Now let's
Yeah.
take a commercial break so our sponsor can spread a little love with our audience.
Are you ready to transform your life? At happyliving.com, we've discovered 4 keys to help you live with purpose, joy, and significance. Unlock your truth with the Happy Quiz. Unlock your happy formula with inspiring stories from the Something Significant Show. Unlock your roadmap to happiness with our free ebook, Making Your Mark of Significance. And unlock your inspired life with our life-changing e-course, The Philosophy of You and Your Inspired Life. This is your time to shine. Go to happyliving.com now and click Unlock the Power of You. Unlock your power. Live your best life. happyliving.com.
And we're back, and this is the Something Significant Show, and I'm your host, Matt Gersper. And my special guest star today is David Dachner, an oil and gas entrepreneur turned visionary philanthropist. David is the mastermind behind the Kimpton Grand Roatán Resort and Spa and the transformative Abundant Life Foundation. His dual focus on luxury hospitality and uplifting underserved communities in Roatán, Honduras, has created homes and schools and opportunities that inspire hope and renewal. David's journey proves that business success and purpose-driven service can thrive beautifully together. And yes, David, I love that. And I think you're going to love this article that I found called The Science Behind the Power of Giving. And it says that the art of giving itself can actually be a gateway for discovering your reason for being on the planet. It says that science tells us that giving our time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering purpose and overcoming difficulties and finding fulfillment and meaning in life. So I went and updated our formula. Power plus purpose plus giving equals really happy. So how about you, David? Has giving your time, talents, and treasures been a pathway for discovering your purpose and for getting past difficulties that you've faced and for bringing real, true meaning into your life?
Absolutely. For many times, for a long time, you know, we have this one shot at the game of life. It's not a dress rehearsal. You don't get to go back and do it over again.
No mulligans.
No mulligans. So what are you doing with your life and all that? And, it's incredibly important to consider carefully about what we're doing, where we're going. There's there's an important thought, and that is the 2 most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you found out why.
Yeah.
And so finding out why is incredibly powerful and joyful to be able to have the kind of life that you want to live. And you've said this in the past, and I live it, and that is basically love is the more you give, the more you get.
Mm-hmm.
You can't outgive. So where I get my energy from, I'm 70 now, and where I get my energy from is the more I give, the more I get back, and it gives me the energy to want to give more. And that's the beauty about, giving and having a purpose and having a focus and how it can make a difference in your life. And it gives me the energy to live and to make it to be. And the thing is, it's not a problem. It's not difficult. It's not strenuous. It's an incredible journey that he has me on. And there are some highs and there's lows, but you just keep focused on the day ahead a little bit at a time, and it's amazing what you can accomplish.
Now, I want to try something here. Let's look at before the transformation. You were living a great big life, I imagine,
Yeah.
wealth and prosperity and women and travel and whatever you wanted, you could have it basically. And you're this young,
Yeah.
just kicking ass and taking names. And
Yeah.
now you're living this life of service.
Mm-hmm.
Many people who are listening might want, I know the life I wanted when I was younger was that first, David. I wanted to conquer the world, and
Yeah.
I learned somewhere I'd learned that I didn't need to conquer the world. I had to
Right.
conquer this myself. And so, so let's put this in the context of the first half is focused on earthly energy, money, fitness, beauty, things that are finite in nature. Once you use them, you have to replenish them. Versus the second half of your life focused on love and giving, which is spiritual and is infinite. So talk about
Correct.
the energy and how you lived the first half of your life and now the energy that you feel. You're 70, I'm 63. You know, you can keep
Yeah.
going.
We
But
got some we
if
got
you
some road behind us, you know, and
so
hopefully
talk
some
about the
wisdom we can
different
pass on to people.
talk
Yeah,
about
I mean, there's you can only do so much of something before it wears out. And yeah, and I was a glutton of the world for so many years. But the journey I've been on, it's never satiable. The joy of giving, and the more love you give and the more love you get. And there's so much opportunity in life to really to live it and explore and have, the kind of things that you really want to have. They're more realistic. And I've really enjoyed that journey. And it's the journey is available for everybody. Just for me, it's been amazing. But you don't have to do everything I do to have a joyful, successful life. There's many opportunities there, but it hasn't been a strenuous deal. I take very good care of myself on maintaining balance. I have a wife, I have a daughter, I got some business. I have to take care of myself physically and emotionally. So it's not about just pouring it all out. I'm giving up 100%. I am not Mother Teresa, don't you? And my wife will be the first one to tell you that too, But but the joy in giving gives me the energy to have all these other parts of my life fulfilled, and it's remarkable.
and on LinkedIn you have a profile picture. It's you and a group of young children wrapped around you in a loving picture.
Yeah.
Describe that feeling, and then I'm going to move on from that.
Well, that was so much fun. We built a school on a small little island of St. Helene, which was an incredible project in itself. And the at that school, you go there, and we thought we'd be done as soon as we built it. But we went back and we connected with the community. We started going back there regularly, all the time, all the time. One of the things we love to do is going back to the school and reading to the kids. Just reading to the kids, their heart lights were going on. They just love it. They were amazed. They were just had such a good time. They got a passion for reading. And that little kid that's kind of looking at me with his finger in his mouth, I ran into him when he's in his 20s. And he goes, I
Wow,
remember that time, and I appreciate you reading to me, which is that doesn't give you joy. That's great.
that gives me
Wow.
goosebumps. You
Yeah.
don't know when you've you don't know two things. When you've really harmed somebody, a lot of times you
Yeah.
might not know about it, and when you've really lifted somebody with pure love and giving. And so
Yes.
the science tells us that giving to others brings real meaning to our lives.
Hmm.
And the joy that we get from that fourth element of significance, doing work that creates value for others, confirms it. But
Yes.
there's something more to it than just the giving, David. I believe that the real magic of life comes when you're giving from living in your purpose, because it creates a
Yes.
profound joy, not
Yeah.
just for those that are receiving it, those kids, but for the
Mhm.
giver too, because it's from
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
so now, David, the audience and I would like to know how it makes you feel to be happily living your life and giving to others through the work you were put on this planet to do, and the people all around you have taken notice. So
Right.
just, like my friend, open your heart and have a listen to what people are saying about the impact that you're making on their lives by finding the magic of giving from living in your purpose. One person told me, David's one of my heroes and mentor. Another said, he's one part of a Christian power couple. I hope Brenda's hearing that. I think she's the a lot of the power there in that Christian power couple. And David, another said, David and his wife Brenda have invested millions of dollars into the Abundant Life Foundation to make it one of the most impactful organizations on the island and possibly in the entire country of Honduras. Others said he's energetic, smart, and godly. He loves and cares deeply. An inspiring man, a people builder, a very charitable guy. Humble, hands on, he has a giving heart. Kind, gentle, peaceful. Serving, righteous, perseverant. easygoing, fun-loving. He leads with love. An entrepreneur, a philanthropist. He brings out the best in people. Determined, powerful yet not forceful. He wants to inspire purpose. He's helped many people on the Honduran community of Roatán. He truly wants to make a difference. He doesn't judge, he does encourage. He's a leader of leaders with a huge serving, loving, and giving heart. This person said, I would work with him on any level at any time. And finally, one person said, very simply, but very powerfully, David has a lot of Christ's traits.
Very
So
sweet.
David, how does all that love make you feel?
Well, that's all love's come back into my cup. When I get that, you give it out and you just don't know the total reaction, how people really feel. And I don't do things for accolades. I do them because that's what I'm supposed to do. And I love doing it. But I'm so appreciative that people acknowledge, the goodness that I've given them. And they know it's not fake or manufactured. I should be doing it. It's authentically me. That all goes back to really having a real core spiritually strong background in the center of my heart to really drive what I do, and people recognize that. So I give that all those great accolades to the one who created me, really.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And that's it, folks. What David just was talking about, that's what this show is all about. We're encouraging you to look for and find that magic in your lives. It's available for each of us. That's what I believe. And it comes from this great big happy circle. Giving your time and talents and treasures is a powerful pathway for discovering your purpose. And giving from living in your purpose brings a profound joy to your life, but also to the lives of those around you. So it seems that giving leads to purpose, and giving from purpose leads to joy. So to capture the entire exponential power of our happy formula, David, let me tweak it just a little tiny bit more. To power times purpose times giving equals happy to the third power. And that's really, truly, deeply happy. Does that sound about right to you?
To me, hard to beat that, really.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, life is a lot less complicated than we make it out to be,
Yes, sir.
And so there's some simple things we can do to have a really full and powerful and joyful life. And these are some of the tools that Matt's been sharing with you, not only this particular podcast, but all the ones he's done in the past all have the same purpose, so that you could have more joy and more purpose in your life and a more fulfilling life. And if you have more purpose and fulfilling life, that's a baton you can pass on to others and make this world a better place.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
what we're trying to do with all these great things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wonderful. All right, let's wrap things up, the lightning round. As you mentioned,
Sure.
I love the power of words and the capacity for great quotes to change lives.
Yeah.
I'm going to read a few of my favorites and ask you to tell us the first thing that comes into your mind, because we call it a lightning round.
Sure.
So here we go. This is from Albert Schweitzer. He said, I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know, the only ones among you who will really be happy are those who have sought and found how to serve.
If you find your way to serve, you can have the kind of really powerful, fun life. And that's what Albert Schweitzer is saying in that quote.
Yeah. This is from Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, this is to have succeeded.
Absolutely. If you could change one life, if everybody in this world could change one life, what would this world be like? If you could change 10, imagine what this world would be like.
Yeah. This is from Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. It says, for we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do.
We don't earn our way to heaven. We've been given that as by grace, but by good works, it's an expression of how you feel and your love about your faith. And it's something that naturally you will want to do. And your faith is expressed through works.
Very good. This is from Mahatma Gandhi. He said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
You will find about yourself a lot during times of trial and difficulty than you ever will from a book sitting in a school.
Mm-hmm. Now, this one you shared with me as if it came from crediting Tom Robbins. When I looked it up, it says it came from Hunter S. Thompson. But either way,
Yeah,
quote is, life is not a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, what a ride.
that's exactly it. And that's my focus on life. And so at the end of my life, I can say, God, I've done all I can with my gifts and talents. I'm ready to go. It's been
Yeah,
quite a journey.
right on. And finally, this is our show anchor. It's from Goth. And he said, whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now.
If you don't try, you'll always fail. If you try, you got a chance to win or lose, but at least take the chance. Get off the bench and into the game of life.
Yes, sir. All right. And now, folks, it's your chance to be a giver too. If you can hear my voice and you were inspired by today's show with David Dachner, please share a little love with our wonderful broadcast team by giving what you can to WITV7. They're a 501c3 charity on a mission to educate, empower, and encourage. They do good works with your kindness. David, I love the incredible way you combine the boldness of a Texas oil man and the generosity of a visionary philanthropist. And I admire your unwavering commitment to building communities guided by your strong Christian faith and creating opportunities that inspire hope and transformation. And I'm super happy that you've shared your compassionate, innovative, and purpose-driven spirit on our show today. Will you please take a moment or two and share any parting remarks you'd like to leave with our audience?
You know, I'm so blessed to be able to have to be here in the U.S. There's a 5% chance that I'd be born in the U.S.
Hmm.
Now, the rest of the world is not like the U.S. Being able to have the opportunity to go out and make a difference in Honduras is substantial. They can use the help, and it's a never ending. Will I change them? If I can just make a slight shift in that, it's worth it.
Yeah.
And I thank God for that opportunity to put me on that difficult mission.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Fearless.
Yep. And I also want to thank WITV7 for hosting and promoting our show so we can keep interviewing inspiring guest stars like David and reaching folks just like you, ready to create your own extraordinary lives. Most especially, thank you to our viewers and listeners. You'll find links to social media and all things David Dachner. Find him, friend him, get involved by joining his amazing Abundant Life Foundation as they continue to create opportunities for Hondurans, or even book a trip to indulge in his luxury island resort and spa in Bay Islands, Honduras. And I was thinking, David, maybe we should even plan a happy living retreat there. We'll have to
Probably
talk,
should.
we'll have to talk about that.
Absolutely. That would
You'll
be
find
great.
that would be great. You'll find all the links, folks, to in the show notes. From me to you, dear friends, I love you and I want you to be really, truly, deeply happy too. So go to happyliving.com right now and click unlock here to unlock the life you are meant to live, one of purpose, joy, and significance. And as you unlock your truth and your formula and your roadmap and your inspired life, please give some thought about what we can do together, you and me, to improve the happy of your world, one person at a time. Till next time, I'm Matt Gersper. You are awesome, and this is the Something Significant Show.
Go for it.
And we're out.